story. Well, here's a very famous episode, chapter 2, Rahab the harlot. Well, I guess she is a harlot, but I mean, she protects the messengers who go in to spy out the situation. Joshua sends some men to reconnoiter the situation in Jericho. And that's what chapter 2 is about. And she gets the men to swear that they will be kind to her descendants, line 12 and 13, for the fact that she sheltered them when they came into the city. And here's the first letting down in a rope from a house that we have in the book of Acts. Paul let himself down the walls of Damascus in a basket. This is letting people down in a rope because she lived by the wall. Finally, they tell her, when we come back, tie a scarlet cord to the window from which you let us down, meaning line 18, as a sign that we would not destroy you with the others because you gave sanctuary and so on. It's a nice little vignette. But what does it mean? I think that they were still descendants of Rahab living at the time this was put down. And the traditions in their family were that this is why they were protected by the Hebrews, or the Jews, or the Israelites. That their ancestor had given them shelter in the original conquest period. Now these traditions are hard to gainsay. I can't imagine people would keep traditions like this if there wasn't some element of truth in them. So whoever says there was no conquest and things like that a lot of modern scholars try to say on the basis of archaeological evidence, I think, there's textual evidence here that there is, including traditions of Rahab the harlot, which clearly is something that later descendants are valuing, and they wouldn't value it if it didn't have some substance relating to the original event, it seems to me. So you'll have to decide that. Now here's the interesting thing of crossing the Jordan and the 12 standing stones, and this is very hard to follow. First of all, the ark is being carried, line 3, by the Levitical priests. Sanctify yourself, for tomorrow the Lord will work wonders for you. So they're getting ready to cross. And they're given the command again to expel the local peoples, line 9 and 10. Choose 12 men, line 12 and 13, from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe. And when the priests go with the ark, have set foot in the waters, the upper waters of the Jordan will flow down, will stop and stand still. Oh, here we go again. We're having another parting of a sea. This time it's a river. The Jordan River is also, I don't know if you knew that, going to part for Joshua and his people according to this account. And they're going to go across on dry shod, because they're carrying the ark. Pretty miraculous. I don't know what it means. So anyway, when they got there, line 15, those carrying the ark came to the waters, and the water stood still, line 16, and made one heap, just like in the Red Sea episode. From Adam to the fortress of Zarethan, and going down into the salt sea, which is the Dead Sea. And the people crossed opposite Jericho, the priests carrying the ark. And they stood on dry ground in mid-Jordan. Do you have the same translation, basically? Okay, so according to this, they're on dry ground. Now, Joshua, in chapter 4, he says, choose 12 men. Well, I thought we just did that. I think we're going to get overlap here again of two different traditions. And give them this command. Take from the mid-Jordan 12 stones. Why? Because the river stopped and you can take the stones out of the middle of the river. Take them with you, set them down at the camp where you pass the night. So on the other side of the Jordan, where they camp after passing across the Jordan, he's to take 12 stones from the river and, like Moses did, set up 12 standing stones for the 12 tribes again. So he called 12 men, we've already more or less had that, and he tells them, pass on before the ark of Yahweh your God into mid-Jordan, and each of you take. Well, they've already done this. This is a repeat. This is like freeze frame, like you've taken the video and then made it go back. So here we go again. So each of you take one stone and then make a memorial of this in your midst. When in the days to come your children ask, what do these stones mean? You see, there was a stone circle there. That stone circle is called Gilgal, because that means circle. So I think the Israelites are giving it a new meaning. I think it was always already there. In other words, there was a Paleolithic or whatever that early Stone Age period is called, from just like in England and all around France and all the islands from France into northern waters there. They have standing stones everywhere like that, stone circles. Anyway, the waters of the Jordan separated in front of the ark. And these stones are an everlasting reminder to the Israelites. So they did as they were told. They took 12 stones from mid-Jordan to match the number of tribes. And they carried them over to the camp and set them down. Then Joshua set up the stones in mid-Jordan, in the spot where the feet of the priests had carried the ark, and they are there even now. Now, hold on. Do you have that, what I have there in chapter 9:9, that Joshua took the stones and put them in the middle of the river? It's something crazy going on in this text, you see. It's almost impossible to follow. It's freeze frame, repeat, back, repeat, and a splicing is going on, but I can't sort it out. All I can tell you is that they weren't put in the middle of the river. They were taken from the middle of the river according to the tradition. And they were put on the river's edge where they camped. And that was there to this day. Maybe the river changed its course at some time, because rivers do, and so another tradition had, oh, the stones are in the middle of the river. You follow me? So it could be like lots of rivers, Colorado River changes all the time and everything. Could be the Jordan, moved a couple of, 20 yards one way or the other. And then at some point to writers, the stones appeared to be in the river, so they have a different tradition, that he set them up in the middle of the river. I don't know what's going on here. All I can tell you is that the place that is Joshua's camp is where 12 standing stones either stood before this or were put there as a commemoration after this. And that's why it's called Gilgal. And look at that. They are there even now. Do you have that in line 9? Well, what does that tell you? Did God write that? No, of course not. God doesn't say they're there even now. Men say that. Men say, what now? When we're writing this? Well, when are you writing it? Oh,